Hello, eRank. Welcome to another Thursday live Q&A with me, Pam Duthie, and her, Starla Moore. I think the intro worked. My screen just went black. So,
It did.
um,
It did work.
it did work. I
It's
was
still
just sitting
playing,
here going,
actually.
yeah, that'll be the delay. Yes. Oh, yep, I see us now. Cool. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that was a worry.
we always when I watch us come on the screen now, we always look so shocked because they're used. I mean, I used to get the countdown, and I don't get it anymore. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
where am I?
Yeah, I get nothing, and because I saw no intro, I was like, okay, I think I'll have to look. I think it's about 30 seconds, that intro, so I'll look at the countdown, and so I'll be aware. Because yeah, it is just like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be speaking now."
It hasn't started yet. Nope, but it has now.
Yep, it has now. We're started a good it is about a 20-second delay, isn't it, on this, as far as I can see, on YouTube? I'm not sure what Facebook delay. I think it's a bit quicker. So if you listen to us in both places, you'll get a bizarre echo.
That's fun. That's fun. I forgot that we were on the Facebook group, though, so I should probably go over there and get that open in case we get questions. Um,
Yeah.
in the meantime, guys, feel free to get your own questions in. We are going to do a couple more demos today since you guys seem to really enjoy those. I just did a video talking about keyword lists as well. I think by now most people are familiar with them, but with it being February 1st, this is the day when everyone should go back and check their keyword lists and check all those terms that you saved, maybe like throughout the holidays, or terms that you put in your listings, because now we're going to start seeing those little dips. You know what I mean? We're going to see those little January dips in searches because less people are shopping. And it's good to keep an eye on those, because if you had a bunch of sales in December and suddenly they start kind of, decreasing, well, then that number is in your keyword lists, and those numbers of searches are just kind of going to back up the fact that, yeah, okay, things are normal. This is a normal little lull in sales. They've spent all their money, right?
Yep. Well, hopefully, until they come from the Super Bowl ads, hopefully.
Did you see it? Did you see the Super Bowl ad?
I saw the Super Bowl ad. We're having a discussion about it in the Facebook group, if anyone. But I think Debbie had it perfectly. Is like the advertising team's humor seems to be stuck in the 70s, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mark watched it with me today. He's like, it's not racist, but
Little
it's
bit.
very not accurate.
Yes.
I don't think any of our French audience is going to be offended by Americans thinking that you guys like cheese, but it was just a little, it would be akin to the ad being about Americans liking cheeseburgers. Like, we do, but it's not the
Yeah.
only thing about us.
The cheese was okay. It was the mime that I was like,
The
no way.
mime. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about the mime. That was a little
Yes, that was interesting, and
very strange.
I wouldn't buy any of my French friends any cheese. They know about cheese. They can get good cheese.
I would like some cheese. You can always send me cheese. We're big cheese fans. All the cheeses. Um, I did want to grab Scrapping with Sharon. She had said that she's having trouble getting Google Analytics to work. You might want to click our little blue button down in the bottom right-hand corner and get with our support team. And it might take a minute for our support team to get you to someone who can help you, because Google Analytics is very difficult. And we did just hire a couple new support people who might not know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I had to follow my own tutorial that I recorded several years ago, and it didn't quite match up to the new Google Analytics 4, and I had to like rig it all together. So I wouldn't be the person to ask. Pam, I assume you're probably not the person to ask.
No, not entirely. We still have Anthony's blog post on it, which, yeah, Google Analytics does change itself every now and again, but it should hopefully get you through it as well. But yeah, our support team can hopefully help as well. Google. I wouldn't worry. Some of the I'm trying to think what the questions are likely to be, and they're probably just things like, what are you going to be using it for and stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much about getting things wrong. I think we all got things wrong to start with and went back and changed them. So.
Yeah. Rustic Farm Chick said, shout out to Anthony for helping me with my eRank account this morning. He was all over it and I appreciate it. Yes, Anthony's fixing a little bug. Hopefully nobody here encountered it. But if for any reason your eRank account magically gets downgraded, or if it, I mean, it would have already happened, and you notice that, you know, your pro, basic, or expert plan is downgraded, we are working on that. Be patient with us. We don't know what happened, I don't think, but the team is like, Anthony's not even replying to me, which tells me that he is fully invested on just trying to figure out what's going on so he can fix it. But if that, does he want us to tell them to message, or is he just going to fix it on his end and everybody will be magically fixed?
Yeah, possibly keep an eye on the Facebook group. I don't, 2 seconds and I will check if I can see anything here.
It looks like
Yeah,
he's
he just says let them know we're working on it and make sure everyone affected is taken care of. So yeah, they should be working on it on their side. Keep an eye on the Facebook group and hopefully we'll be able to announce and there should be links to join the Facebook group if you're not a member, but keep an eye on the Facebook group and somebody will hopefully be on to let you know when it's fixed.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's computer stuff. Is occasionally it goes a bit wrong, but Anthony does care, and he is on working on it. Yeah.
Now, I did get an interesting notification today, Pam. I don't know if you got it from the Etsy app. It's also on our dashboards. But
Yes.
at noon today, I got a notification that says we are waiving transaction fees on share and save orders until February 15th. So I think that this is Etsy really trying to game up for this whole Super Bowl ad and building overall awareness. I think that they want to create a big boom, which is great because in February, aside from Valentine's Day, which most people buy their Valentine's Day stuff in January, if you look, you know, if you search for Valentine's Day on Etsy, January is when you see the spike. It's a little lower in February. But I think that they know that February and March are pretty slow on Etsy. And I think that they're trying to really let sellers kind of incentivize doing some marketing right when the water's nice and warm because the Super Bowl ad is already going to be out. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to see it. So make sure that you guys are using your share and save links.
Yeah, that was definitely nice and generous. It makes it definitely worthwhile doing. And probably be thinking as Etsy's doing a big push for giftable things, think on what in your shop can be giftable. I know just about everything can be if it can be, and maybe work that into what you're talking about as Etsy's pushing it anyway. But yeah, that was really cool of them.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere too. I got that notification
Mm.
today and I was just like, "Oh."
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. That's the first that like they've done surprise sales on us, but this is nice because it's something for us. But it should help the whole of Etsy as a whole because if we push to our social media and people that haven't heard of Etsy come in and buy, and then they'll come back hopefully and buy from other people. And yeah, I don't know if anyone else has found this. Your share and save isn't supposed to work from messages, but mine has been. So if
Oh,
you have
really?
a past custom, yeah, I've had a couple of like old customers come back and go, "Oh, I can't find the link to what I should buy," and I've just said, "Didn't they share and save because it's a shorter link?" And it was easy to get hold of, and then it was credited for the share and save. So yeah.
Yeah, I just scheduled a bunch of social media content for my shop, and for, like, you know, all of my Pinterest links. When I pin a product, um, I make sure that I'm using the share and save link, which I don't think that you can incorporate that in if you're just clicking the like pin it button that you have on Etsy listings. You have to actually go either into Pinterest, or I use the Metricool scheduling app. But when it
I
asks for a link,
think Yeah, I think that's automatically the right link. I'll have to check again, but
when you pin directly from Etsy, let me.
I think something in my head's going that's what they gave us as well, that once you've signed up, it should just automatically do that.
That would be super duper cool. Let me see.
It would, yes.
I gotta sit and compare the links now because we just released products. Okay, let's see.
Testing on the fly for you guys.
I know, right?
And you can check out what Starla's doing with the reflection.
Yeah, you can see it right in I'm wearing my goober goggles today. Well, it's giving me the option to save it to a board, but I'm not seeing if it's the share and save link. I'm trying to booksandcoldbrews.etsy.com, which would be the share and save link, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it worked.
Awesome. I thought I remembered that as soon as you sign up saying, I can't remember what you had to do, but you just had to say, yeah, I want to be part of the share and save. And I was sure they said any of the social links will be the right ones automatically. Awesome. Thank you, Etsy. They do good sometimes. We don't have to be negative all the time. Yeah.
Let's see. Does the share and save have to be for a specific listing, or can it be the store link? It can be both. If you want your store link, it is just yourshopname.etsy.com. But if you go to your actual like seller dashboard, they put it right in the top right corner, and all you got to do is click it and it automatically copies. I do that most of the time just to make sure that I don't accidentally mess something up with my own link. I will always go in and just copy it straight from Etsy.
Yeah, it is super helpful. They have gone out of their way to make things easy for us for this, so it is cool.
Everybody wants to know where you got your shirt, Pam.
I know, but you'll be mad at me if I tell you. I got it from Shein. I'm sorry.
She was testing the quality for us.
I was literally. I do that when any of these places open up, like Temu. I've done an order from them just to see what it was like, and it's kind of it's almost disappointing when you're like, that's actually really good quality. I really like that. Whoops.
I'm sure it's hit or miss. I'm sure that just like with everything, I've even had some. I mean, obviously, that's just a bunch of mass-produced, stuff. But every once in a while, something will probably be okay. Every once in a while when I order something from Etsy, I'm like, this isn't as great as I thought it would be. I try to still give, even if I know it's handmade, I still usually give a good review. They get an A+ for the effort, but yeah.
I know it's tricky, isn't it? But I suppose that's the thing. With handmade, it is sometimes going to be missed, but when you find the good shops, keep a hold of them.
Exactly. Because they can always improve too. We're all just working together trying to get better.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we have not gotten any questions. So Pam, you want to move on to demo, and then we can round and circle back at questions maybe around 3:30?
That sounds good. Right.
Awesome.
Let me figure out pulling this up. I wish there was a way to do.
Cheyenne had said eRank is great, but doesn't give a clear understanding of what to sell, or am I missing something? So let's backtrack a little bit and remember what Etsy's for. Etsy is a creative avenue that, tells it can help you to get your passions out there. So what are you interested in? Don't just chase the trends. Don't just try to find what's most popular. Obviously, there needs to be demand for what you sell, but don't just focus on chasing trends. Otherwise, if you hate cats and you notice that cats are trending, how unhappy are you going to be having a cat business? You have to also make sure that you are focusing on what makes you happy. So start there. But then from there, you can use our trend tools. If you want to see what's trending on Etsy, I recommend our monthly trend report, because with that one, you can actually browse by specific categories and find what's popular within those particular industries. For example, if you sell hoodies, then there's a category for the most searched hoodies. If you sell paper and party supplies, there's a category for the most popular paper and party supply related products.
Yeah, Starla's so right though. The first thing is Etsy's not the best place to come to if you're looking to quickly build a big business and you don't have any passion for anything. It was originally designed as a handmade place. Now it's expanded into vintage and supplies. But what's your passion? What's your people? Like, I love dogs and I can needle felt, so I was needle felting dogs. Starla, she loves books. She's got in touch with the authors. She's made a shop to do with her love there, and she's in that community. And then you use eRank to find the trends within the niche that you've got into, rather than trying to find a niche based on the trends.
Exactly. And then she'd followed up with, how do you get in front if you're in a low competition niche or product? It takes time. You have to have a great product. So for example, I released a collection in our new shop. We just started it in September. We've got 68 sales, which I think is pretty darn
It
good for just
really
starting
is.
it. Um,
Mhm.
and we launched a collection on Monday. We are officially licensed by an author who had a new book coming out on Tuesday. And we were so excited to launch this new collection. We did all this hype. We've sold one product so far. And my SEO is fantastic. I am in a very high demand niche. I'm using social media. I'm on every social media platform promoting this launch. I've made one sale so far. And for a brand new shop and launching a brand new collection, it's not that bad. The thing is, over time, like Pam and I talk about, as you make sales, Etsy begins to trust you more. As you get good reviews, Etsy begins to trust you more. As you do good on Etsy and don't violate their rules, Etsy trusts you even more. And with that trust comes the overall increase of your listing quality scores and your customer and marketplace experience score, which are two factors that will help you to rank higher in search, which is essentially what you're asking for, how to get ahead of those competitors. But in the meantime, a good place to start is social media. Most of the sales that I get right now are from social media, because people see my stuff on social media while they're looking at book related hashtags, or searching for things related to the book series that I make merch for. And then they stumble across me, and occasionally we get a sale from that. So social media is a great way to really tap into a niche. You just need to also make sure that you're focusing on the type of person that would be interested in buying that product. Don't just use it as another avenue to say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. For me, I will show a product, and then maybe if that product is related to a certain character or a certain quote from the book, I will put the full extended quote. I'll tag the author. I will talk about how we're officially licensed, and I'll mention, if I've got that particular design on multiple products, I'll say we also have this on a shirt, or we also have this on a tumbler. So it does take time, though. I know that it's frustrating. It's always frustrating to release new products and not make it, not make immediate sales, but it takes time. You kind of got to trust the process a little bit.
That's it. Trust your things. Amy, this is a great question because this is just what I was going to show you. So if Amy's said that she really misses seeing the top tags tab on the keyword tool, which is, we used to have a tag here that you could see the top tags for the keyword that you've searched for. So for some reason, dark academia was top of my thing. It's Etsy predicts it to be trending again, so it's not quite yet, but fingers crossed. I quite liked it. But what we've done is we've taken the related searches and the top tags and combined them into the keyword ideas tab. So here you get all of that data all in one place, which is really cool. It means you don't have to click through different tabs. But Amy, we hear you, because do you see what we just added? We now have on the blue bar, we have this little checkbox here, show tags only. So if I click that, that is now just showing all of the tags. So you wished for it. We've we've brought it back. If you prefer, if you like that top tags tab, then just hit the show tags only, and there they all are again. So that was the first thing we wanted to show for today. So yeah. Oh yeah, and that one more thing while I've got you here, if you haven't noticed, we did just yesterday released a video on this channel about what's new on eRank. The show tags, I totally missed that because that got released after my video. But in this and in active listings, um, and yeah, in the active listings area as well, we now have this button called columns. If you haven't seen it, if you click on this, I don't know if that shows, yep, that shows good. And you can choose which columns you want to see. So if you wanted to see the tag occurrences here, you can just click on that. And then when we hit apply, my computer will run very slowly. And now we can see this column that shows us how many of the top listings showing for that keyword are using this tag in their listing. So you can personalize it totally to yourself. So that's two things, but yeah, hopefully Amy's happy now. Glad
Hey,
glad to
Pam,
do.
are you able to show them how to sort tags by high searches and low competition?
Um, yeah, if you want to sort to buy anything, so I usually quite often what I'll want to check is for highest to lowest searches. So all you do, click on top of that column, and it's just ranking everything by the highest searches. Um, and then another thing, if you want by the highest searches right now, here's a super secret one. If you click on the search trend column, then what that is going to do is pull up the ones. Now the graphs all look different because they're scaled to themselves, but now that I've clicked on this, it's showing you the ones that had the highest searches in what month are we in? We're in February, in January. So home decor had the highest searches in January, which is different from what had the highest searches overall. So yeah, any of these columns where you see these two little arrows, you can click on that and it will sort the whole chart by that metric.
Aisha had asked a few minutes ago, can you show how to search for a particular listing? Did you mean a listing from like a competitor, like analyzing a competitor listing? Or did you mean to see your own listings within eRank? I know you've asked a couple questions, but I did want to circle back there and make sure that we got to you.
Yeah, if you give us a bit more details about it, we might be able to show you.
Yeah,
If
our
that's okay.
competitor listings tool, though, you can just grab the listing ID, which is the last little part when you look at the link on Etsy for a listing. There's like, the etsy.com/shop/ blah, blah, blah. But then that little tail end, it'll say slash and then a bunch of letters and numbers. You can take that little letters and numbers and paste those right into our competitor listings tool and analyze those listings. Or we've also got the shortcut button. A lot of people forget that we have that. And if you add that shortcut button to your browser, you'll have a little smiley face up in your top browser bar. And while you're on Etsy, if you stumble across a listing that you want to investigate further, you can click that little smiley face and it'll pop it right into eRank for you. A lot of people don't know that we have that.
Yeah, we used to call that, myself and Debbie used to call that the super secret spy tool. So, because that's what it is. It just sits there in your bookmark bar, and when you're looking at anything on Etsy and you go, "Oh, that shop looks interesting," click on the super secret spy button, and it brings you to the page, the relevant page on eRank.
Yeah. NVH had said, if you sell via socials, why not get your own website? A lot of people don't want to have one. Right now, I'm not ready for a website with my new business. I'm not ready to run both. I'm not ready for the expenses of my own website. I am not ready I don't have the time to build one. A lot of people aren't tech savvy. Not to mention, having an Etsy shop and a website together is a good thing too, because like I always say, you have to remember that Etsy's like a busy shopping mall. There's already people there shopping and they're in the shopping mood. Social media is not a shopping platform, it's a social platform. Social media, not shopping media. So it's a lot easier to convert somebody into a customer while they're already in the mood for shopping looking for items to buy in that busy shopping mall than it is to grab them from social media and try to toss them somewhere else where they can buy. Not to mention, when it comes to SEO for your website, you're going to have to work really hard to start ranking on platforms like Google. It's the difference between having your business in that busy shopping mall where people already exist to shop versus having your business located out in the middle of a cornfield where you've got to put billboards pointing all the way there. And those billboards come in the form of either really, really good website SEO, which you usually have to pay someone to do because it's very difficult these days, or you're paying for external marketing. Absolutely have your own website. We're an Etsy channel and we're an Etsy tool. So we focus on the Etsy stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, what you said, you've got like 60 sales or something. Even if you've driven all them sales through social media, the impact that would make on a website, the help that would do for Google is next to nothing. Whereas 60 sales in your first month, the impact that has on Etsy to get a good ranking, shop quality score, to then rank better, to then bring in extra people from that are already on Etsy, that is such a bigger deal. Unfortunately, 60 sales and stuff isn't enough to move the needle to get seen on Google. So there's that. And there's the other thing that, okay, for everything that we complain about Etsy for and whatever, there is trust there. I have been burnt so often buying from random websites that I saw on Facebook that I generally will not buy from random websites. I will go to Etsy. I will go somewhere because Etsy kind of has your back a little bit more. So yeah, there is that. So it definitely, I hear that all the time. People are like, well, if I'm driving my own traffic, why should I do the work for Etsy? And it's because it's easier to build up to be really big in a little puddle rather than trying to build up and be huge on the vastness of Google.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
right. Because then
Yeah.
you're competing against the non handmade shops. You're competing if you make silver jewelry by hand, you're competing against like Tiffany and Co, who has way more money and way bigger tech departments ranking them on every single Google search page. So it is pretty challenging. Cheyenne had asked, can you delete the high competition? Yeah, you just hit the delete button and all your competitors poof out of existence. No matter what they're
Oh,
doing, they could be on the toilet, they could be walking their dog, they just poof. No, you can't get rid of the high competition. But don't, I mean, that's a good thing. You need to be aware that the high competition is there. Because sometimes those highly competitive terms still make okay tags because you could broad match for a combination of those terms.
yeah. And high competition, you want there to be some high competition because generally that means there is reasonable demand. There's enough demand that a load of people are opening up shops aiming for that and stuff. So you need to have that, and then you can niche down into it. This is something we hear all the time as well. People will go, oh, I'm in such a saturated niche like jewelry. And it's like, no, okay, jewelry or ring or earrings is super high competition, but that's not what you're aiming for. You're just going and saying, oh, do a lot of people come to Etsy to buy rings? Yes, they do. Now, what kind of ring in my niche can I be making? Because Starla used to sell in jewelry and she did bloomin' good. But she didn't sell necklaces. She sold skeleton key necklaces for a certain narrow niche of people, and she sold really well. So yeah,
Fantasy themed.
yeah, that's how you delete. That's how you delete the high competition. You niche down.
That's true. So we've had a couple questions. A lot of people asking to see the shortcut button. That is in the tools tab. We can't demo how to use it, unfortunately, because Pam would have to like add it to her browser live and possibly show all of her stuff.
Yeah, probably can't do that.
But just go to the tools tab and
I
you
can
should see
show
the
you
option.
I can show you where it is and what you need to do, if I can remember how to do buttons. There's a big Starla. Hey.
It's me.
Um, there we go. So It is in Tools shortcut button. You go all the way down to here. And why is it when I'm live that this happens? Yeah. Why is it when I'm live that everything takes so much longer? This is not an eRank problem. This is a Pam's computer problem. Okay, let's try that again. Tools, shortcut button. I have no idea what's going on there. Right, cool. So when you go to that, you get this little page, which just basically installation. So you pick up this little blue guy and you put it onto your bookmarks bar. My bookmarks bar is hidden because it's got lots of secret shortcuts on it. But you just drop it onto your bookmarks bar, and then whenever you're in somewhere, you'll see this happy little face, hopefully.
We
Yeah,
should have made it
so
a little spy. I wish we would have used the little spy emoji. I know Anthony
the
doesn't.
the Anthony one, yeah, that would have been so cute. Make Starla bigger. There we go.
Aisha has asked if we can analyze a competitor listing. Do you want one of my listing IDs?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Can I Slack it to you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. This is from, okay, before you open this one, please remember I'm officially licensed by these authors. So make sure that you're not making Harry Potter merch or Lord of the Rings merch. Trust me, I've tried. You can't do those. You can't do Twilight.
Yeah.
We got to,
Um,
and you got to be willing to pay the author. I think we pay this author 20%.
what should we go with? Listing audit or?
They want to see the competitor listing. But I guess listing audit would probably be the best. Maybe if
Cool.
we can show them how to actually get to that point, that would be cool.
Yeah, there's a good idea. I've got so many buttons to hit here. This is annoying. Yay. There we go. Right. So how I get to it is if you go from listings, active listings, you see your own listings, and then I just click listing audit to get to the listing audit tool, which is going to audit my listings. And you'll see here it just says look up any listing, and Starla's given me her, and it's just this string of numbers here that's part when you look at the URL of the listing, just the string of numbers, and we get data about Starla's listing. So, and it is a cool lot of data. We get to see the title, officially licensed. We get to see how old the listing is, how often it's been when it's been updated. 44% visibility. It'll go up now that people know about you, Starla.
Right. Now everybody's
um,
going to be look.
and then we get some ideas here. We get to see roughly what portion of the title is going to show up in search. So you just want to look at that and say, does that make sense to what you're selling? Which, well done, Starla, because it looks like you cut off at your first little pipe, the first place where you wanted to. So
Exactly.
yeah, well done. So there you can see your competitor's title, which obviously we can see on Etsy, but it's nice to be able to see it here. And then we get the list of all of the tags, which, yeah, you should have really cool unknown low competition.
You know what? For my tags, because I've crammed them together to get broad matches. So the tags are going to look completely nonsensical. I should have given you a better listing.
No, I think these kind of things are cool as well. Yeah, because it does. Remember, we speak about this all the time that Etsy can pick and mix. So you might look at this like a lot of people when you show something like this, they'll go, "But look, this is a terrible listing," and it really isn't for so many different reasons. First of all, as Starla said, these are just brand new. It's just a brand new book that's come out. So a lot of the keywords she's getting in front of the trend, which
right. Well, okay. So here's an example for you guys. The title of the book is House of Flame and Shadow, and that won't fit in a single tag. But I know I'm not going to be able to get an exact match for that term, no matter what, even if I were to divide it into two different tags. And I don't really care about the of, house of, and I don't really care about the and. because those aren't really essential terms when it comes to ranking if I'm not going to be able to exact match it. So I did house, flame, shadow within one tag. One of the other books is house of sky and breath. Well, the and wouldn't fit, but the of would. So I did house of sky breath. It 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 sounds weird and it sounds nonsensical, but you have to remember that Etsy's playing this fun little Scrabble game almost, except with not with letters, but with full words. And they're trying to make sense of these words. And if someone searches for a specific combination of words, obviously, if you can get an exact match and put it in exactly how the customer has typed it in, you're going to do really, really well. However, a lot of the times that's not possible, especially in your tags. Right here, what you see is a nice big combination of terms that are going to do fantastic for a lot of different broad matches, all related to a very, very specific thing, which is this particular book series that literally just released on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a thing that a lot of people muddle up, and it is kind of confusing that tags are the things that you write in your listings to explain to the algorithm that you're relevant for the keywords. Tags and keywords aren't exactly the same thing. So you might look at someone's listing and be like, but nobody's searching for anything there. So they're not good keywords, but they're not aiming to be. As
Right.
Starla explained,
Well,
you know, house, flame, shadow is not what anyone's searching for, but that tag is explaining to Etsy that if someone searches for house of flame and shadow, then Starla's listings are relevant for it. So sometimes you can't look at this and go, oh, this is good or bad. Looking at this, you have to think to yourself, right, why is it like this?
yeah.
So we've spoke I thought I saw something a minute and then I've distracted myself. But we
Well,
speak about things like gift for mum and then another tag saying aunt, sister, mother or something. And you'd look at the tag of aunt, sister, mother and go, what's that? But when the person made the listing, they might know that they're aiming for gift for aunt, gift for sister, you know, so you look at how that all combines. But
Cheyenne had said, would you suggest using searches that are unknown or less than 200 worth it? So just make sure that you're using them with intention. For example, if somebody came into my tags and tried to steal them all and they didn't know why they were doing it, they were just trying to steal all of mine, they wouldn't understand. It's more important to understand why you're doing what you're doing. That way you can replicate it across other listings. Someone could come in not understanding why I have nonsense like House of Sky Breath as a tag and, you know, try to toss it into a listing and not see much success with it. Make sure that you are adding those tags with intention and you're knowing why. However, searches that say unknown, it doesn't mean that no one's searching for them. It just means that we at eRank don't have that data. Now, I doubt anybody is searching for, like I said, House of Sky Breath. Nobody's searching that, but they are searching for House of Sky and Breath. So with that in mind, that term to me is worth experimenting with, even if looking at this data here, the way that I've needed to type it in to make it fit, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So it's about thinking abstractly. And guess what? Your competitors, a lot of them aren't going to take the time to think abstractly. They're just going to look for the terms that have green across the grid. And this is where I think that a lot of people get really mixed up with their SEO because they're like, I can't find any good terms. Everything has high competition. Nothing has good searches that isn't competitive. Well, for one, having a niche makes that a lot easier. But for two, it's not just about finding the terms that look the best across the grid. It's also about taking the terms that look good across the grid or that have, you know, high competition maybe, and how they stack with other terms. So for example, the term gift for grandma has decent searches, but, you know, really high competition. Last month, the term grandma blanket had good searches, good clicks and click through rates, and low competition. So by using those terms together, uh, gift or grandma blanket gift or gift for grandma blanket, you're almost killing two birds with one stone by using a term like that, because you think in your head, oh, I would never rank